It's time for a Cuse Countdown Webisode. Caleb Nice, Peter Elliott, and Liam Griffin. Syracuse football will have game number 13. It's time to go bowling, a place much warmer than here in upstate New York. It's a matchup against USF in the Boca Raton Bowl in late December. The biggest story here on the Hill has been the naming of new head coach Fran Brown, coming from those Georgia Bulldogs. Peter, this will be his first time watching Syracuse in action as a part of the program. What's the first thing he's going to learn watching this team?
I think he'll learn that this is an SU program that could really use his help in more ways than one, but especially on the recruiting front. He's inheriting a Dino Babers team that took this team to 6-6, but I think with his help, they could go much farther. But beyond just the Boca Raton Bowl, I think he should be looking beyond December 21st, building out his coaching staff, building out the recruits that'll take him beyond just the Boca Raton Bowl, maybe to the Orange Bowl, the Peach Bowl in the future, not just a lowly game between an American Athletic Conference team and an ACC team.
Now, the Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, really high expectations, Peter. Fun fact, Syracuse is the first Power 5 school ever to play in the Boca Raton Bowl, and that's what Fran Brown is getting himself into.
No.
This isn't Athens, Georgia.
No.
This is Syracuse, New York. In Athens, Georgia, you're used to getting 4-star and 5-star recruits coming in out the wazoo. Peter, this is an entirely new learning experience for Fran Brown. Never had coordinator experience, and he's making the jump right from head coach, or right from defensive backs coach to head coach.
And you mentioned those 4-star recruits. Maybe this weekend, maybe over the course of leading up to this game, they can land some 4-star recruits. I mean, that's the goal. So many recruits are coming to campus, so maybe SU can look better in the future. But for this game, they're stuck with the roster they have.
Yeah, Fran Brown ranked the #1 recruiter by 24/7 Sports. It'll be interesting to see how those recruiting visits go. Liam, the Orange's opponent, USF, is an old familiar foe. The Bulls were briefly a part of the Big East and faced Syracuse every year from 2005 to 12, then a handful of times after. And USF holds the series lead at a lopsided 8-2. This season, USF is coming off one of the best turnarounds in program history.
Yeah, Peter, the Bulls finished 1-11 last season. To jump from 1-11 to 6-6 like that, it's no walk in the park. That said, their defense, a bit of a struggle, giving up the 4th most points in the American Athletic Conference. But the flip side of that, though, is USF held Alabama to 17 points. The Crimson Tide put up more points in every single SEC game than they did against USF. So kind of a mixed bag, but it's a really high-flying Bulls offense, though, Peter.
I think if you weren't going to bring that up, I was going to bring that up as well, because I think that's what every college football fan knows this USF team for. They played Alabama tougher than most teams in the SEC have this season, but like you mentioned, Liam, this is a Bulls team that is limited. Beyond just that game in September against the Crimson Tide, this is a team that lost by 40 to a 4-8 Florida Atlantic team. So yes, they are 6-6, but that's 6-6 in the AAC, not 6-6 in the ACC like Syracuse is. So this is a South Florida team that is very beatable, Liam.
Yeah. And they did play Alabama close. Maybe they could take a run at Fran Brown's Georgia Bulldogs. But Peter, Syracuse has found success in the Sunshine State in the 2018 Camping World Bowl. What do the Orange have to do, in your mind, to keep finding success in Florida?
I think they've got to stay creative on offense. Now, I don't know if we know exactly what's going to be going on with the coaching situation, but I think you take what Jason Beck did with that offense over the last few games in the regular season and you run with it. Maybe you take a more run-heavy approach like they did. That's what won them the game against Pitt. That's what led them to have success against Wake Forest. Stay creative on offense, and also you get more time to rest up ahead of this game, so you never know what Garrett Trader's going to look like ahead of this game. Maybe he can actually throw a forward pass. So it could be exciting to see how healthy this Syracuse team is.
That's a low blow at Garrett Trader. But I'm talking about from the defensive perspective, you've got to contain USF quarterback Byron Brown because he can do it all. As a quarterback, top 10 in the conference in rushing yards, third in touchdowns. He also threw for over 3,000 yards and 23 touchdowns. Look, if you want to stop a guy like Brown, you have to make him less effective in the pocket. Make him uncomfortable, send 5-6 guys after him. That's how you slow him down.
Yeah.
So play well on offense and play well on defense certainly sounds like a recipe to success. All right, Liam, give me the prediction. Does Syracuse get the bowl win and enter the Fran Brown era with some momentum?
I think they do, Caleb. I've got Syracuse taking this one 31-28. Look, when you're playing against USF, a team that is built on offense, chances are it's not going to be a low-scoring game, but I think the Orange have the firepower to keep up with them. You know, with what we've seen over the last 3 games, the versatility, especially from Dan Villari, LaQuintown, even Garrett Schrader when he's not at full strength. They have more talent. It's going to be a high-scoring shootout, and SU's roster will probably be depleted, but the Orange are going to get it done.
I'm right there with you, Liam. I'm impressed by the Syracuse team, how they rebounded after the adversity from the middle of this regular season, and especially with the way they ended this season against Wake Forest. I think they win as well, 32-21 over the Bulls, their second bowl game in 2 seasons, and I think it'll be their first win since 2018, Caleb.
So Liam and Peter have Syracuse win. I'll be the third for an Orange sweep. I have Syracuse taking this one 27-21. That's all the time we have for this Cuse Countdown webisode. Syracuse and USF down in Boca Raton, December 21st. Thanks so much for tuning in.